I'm gonna try to beat a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Platinum, except the entire game is randomized. I will be playing with hardcore Nuzlocke rules, meaning if my Pokemon faints, it dies. I can't use it no more. No healing items in battle, no overleveling gym leaders, and I will be playing on set mode. And before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, as it will mean the world to me. Now, let's get on with the video. After naming myself Weavile, we start off in our bedroom, watching TV. Ah yes, my biggest inspiration. I want to be just like you someday. Oh shit! So yeah. After that, it's time to pick our starter. And my options were... well, yeah, not great, but we can make it work. You're a strange-looking Turtwig, aren't you? Oh well. Now, all Pokemon abilities, as well as their moves, are also random. And well, Sticky Hold isn't the best, and Laron's moveset is... interesting, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Our first encounter ends up being a Nidoran or not. Our real first encounter ends up being a Machop named Adesanya. And then at Lake Verde, we end up catching a Baneri. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Let's just jump ahead, as this run ended way too early, as we were swept by Barry in the first rival fight. To a Fion. To a fucking Fion! To a fucking Fion! Okay, second attempt. This time, our starter selection was, well, Feebas, ugh, Dodrio, okay, maybe. And the last one is... Chatot. Garbage! I'm picking Dodrio. Well, shit. Guess I picked the wrong bird. Well, third time's the charm, as they say. This time, our starters will be... This is it. This is the run. Oh my god. Well, the fight against Barry ended a little closer than I would have liked, but we won. And, thick fat on Deoxys could come in handy.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
And, oh yeah, I should speak to Dawn. Maybe she can teach me how to catch Pokemon better so I don't end up killing my first encounter. Well, Dawn's words of advice did not help me, as I killed my first encounter, again. But my next two ended up being Time Lord, the Gabite, and Wonder, the Eevee. And a little later, we fished up Staple, the Nuzleaf, and caught Ted, the Electivire. Sadly, Staple did not last long, as it became the first to fall. Speeding up in a Nuzlocke never ends up well. I'm still gonna do though. And our last encounter before battling Barry again is... holy shit! My luck really is turning! Welcome to the team, Tiny! Barry this time was no match for Tiny, as it obliterated him with Fire Blast! Our next three encounters before facing the first gym leader became Big Mama, the Kangaskhan, Gatorade, the Feraligatr, and Mime Jr. that I failed to catch. Oh well. As we start the battle with Rourke, I just have to say, he was so frustrating! Between his super tanky Dusknoir, that was almost impossible to take out, and his stupid freaking Dewgong with Earthquake and Sing, it really made the fight a freaking mess. We eventually pulled it off, but unfortunately not before losing 2 team members. You will be missed. At the Valley Windworks, we picked up Bash, the Sharpedo, our first Pokemon at this point to have a stab move. After that, we start a fight against Team Galactic admin Mars, which we handle quite swiftly. Between the newest member Bash and the beast Tiny, Mars never stood a chance. As we move on, our next encounter in Eterna Forest did not disappoint, as we end up catching ourselves Ball, the Giratina. That's 3 legendaries this early on. This run really is the one. And next up, we pick up Fish, the Finneon, Leonardo, the Squirtle, and Gary, the Gyarados. And while fighting a random optional trainer, sadly, Time Lord falls to that damn Dewgong again. I can't stand you right now. But it's not all bad, as we end up evolving Squirtle. Remember, I randomized everything, so this Squirtle could become a legendary or something else really cool. Next gym leader on the shopping block is Gardenia. Her first 2 Pokemon falls easily to Bash with just some water guns, but then, of course, she has to have an annoying Pokemon as well. She sends out a Jirachi, and just like the Dewgong, this was hell. I could just chip its HP down slowly as it was healing back up with Drain Punches. But Bash, the new MVP, manages to take it out in the end. But unfortunately, we did lose Gary in the fight. And, oh yeah, Leonardo died too. Oh no, not him. Oh. Anyways, next up is Galactic admin Jupiter, and she should pose no prob. No! Bash! He was becoming my favorite! How could you, you monster? After that tragedy, Gatorade killed the rest of her team.
Now. Now. It's your turn.
As a sign of respect for losing our precious Bash, Cynthia gifted us an egg, which hatched into Bush the Grotto. I shall raise you well, my child. Our next encounters were nothing special. So we head straight to the third gym to fight Fantina. Chosen One starts off by barely surviving against her Cordeli. Later, she sends out a Chansey, which Gatorade handles swiftly with a Sky Uppercut. After that, she sends out a Bronzong, which Gatorade handles easily as well. Wow! Gymleader? That was easy? And no deaths? I almost can't believe it. After Fantina, we head to the right to meet up with Barry for another rival battle. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this battle. Gatorade just obliterated his entire team.
That's my boy.
But yet again, misfortune strikes as I was careless and Chosen One, our starter, falls to a random trainer's Abomasnow. Now Gatorade truly is the real MVP. But as one falls, another must take its place. So welcome Cloudy to the team, as well as Bah, the Mareep, which later evolved into a Lucario. Amazing! Which was good because I accidentally killed Cloudy in its first battle. Well, gee. Later, we get an amazing encounter in Heatran, who presumably really wanted to be on the team because it immediately kills Bah and then got caught right after. So, welcome Magma Man to the team. After a few more pissy encounters and yet another death, we head to the fourth gym ready to battle Melee. She starts off by sending out a Shelgon, which Magma Man easily handles with a Dragon Pulse. Next up is her Pidgeotto, which falls to an Ice Punch. And lastly, her Cranidos, which gets one shot by an Earth Power. Well, it looks like you got competition. Nothing really happened between the next gym, except Bush, our little Grottle, evolved into a Celio. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that, but okay. Crasher Wake starts off by sending out a Farfetch, which ended up being really annoying, paralyzing both Ball and Magma Man, but we managed to take it out eventually. Next up, he sends out a Macargo, which I thought Tiny could handle, but one crit Sucker Punch stopped that. But Silly comes in and finishes off the Macargo, as well as Wake's last Pokemon, Ditto. And after the fight, Silly evolves into a Jumpluff. Damn. These Evos really are crappy, huh? After hearing an explosion, we ended up chasing down a Galactic member, who was easily taken care of, and then Cynthia shows up to give us what we need to head over to Celestic Town, where we ended up having our first fight against the Team Galactic boss, Cyrus. Now the fight started off well as Gatorade demolished his first two Pokemon, but then a very poorly timed counter kills Gatorade. Then the damned Politoed ends up killing yet another one of my mons. Luckily, Ball can come in and finish it off. After picking up Surf from Cynthia's grandmother, we ended up getting a pretty good new encounter to replace Gatorade. So yeah, welcome to the team, Thor. Then we head over to get ready for the next gym leader, but first, another rival battle. Barry starts off by sending out a Vileplume, which Magma Man handles swiftly with just one Heat Wave. Next up is his Tauros, which ended up being a little bit of trouble for me, but honestly mostly just because of some misplays from me. But Magma Man ended up taking it out as well. Next up is his Stantler, which ended up being quite scary, spamming Destiny Bond over and over. But after a couple of switches, it ended up taking itself out, as well as my newest member, Diddy.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Honestly, this was probably for the best. Then he sent out a Spinda, which was slowly taken out by Ball. Last up is Barry's Frostlass, which Ball once again takes out with a couple of Steel Wings. After that, we head right over to take on the 6th gym leader, Byron. Byron starts off with Mantine, which ended up being a little bit of trouble since I didn't really have much for it, but Magma Man steps up and handles it like always. Next up is his Love Disc, which gets easily handled with just 2 moves. Last up is Byron's Unknown, which once again Magma Man handles swiftly. And now it's time to take on the Galactic admins. First off, Satyr. He wasn't particularly hard, but he does end up killing Bush. Next up is Mars, who was annoying as hell. Her Jinx was a real piece of and yeah, the Jinx of course ends up taking out Ball. But the rest of her team gets taken care of by Thorberg. As I head over towards Candace, Spines evolves into a Jirachi.
Doesn't it feel good though?
Yeah, I kind of feel dope right now.
You look dope.
Now Candace starts off by sending out an Espeon, which easily gets taken out after a couple of moves from Thorberg. Up next is her Victor Bell, which Magma Man is able to handle with a single Heat Wave. And after that is her Mighty Anna, which Magma Man also is able to handle with a couple of Heat Waves. And last up is her Fortress, which once again Magma Man takes out with a Heat Wave.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
After the Candice fight, I decided to hunt down some encounters that I missed earlier in the game. Most of them were, well, kinda ass, but I did end up catching Airjet the Skarmory, so it wasn't all bad. Once Airjet is all leveled up, we head into the Team Galactic headquarters. First, through the back entrance to pick up the Galactic key, and then straight to the front entrance to handle the real business. Now, the trainers in here are nothing to scoff at, since at this point, pretty much everyone is gonna have fully evolved teams. But we get through unscathed. And so now, it's time to face off against Cyrus for the second time. He starts off by sending out a Frostlass, which gave me some trouble at first, but Magma Man was able to handle it in a couple of hits. Next up is his Gengar, which gets taken out with a couple of Night Slashes from Black Manta. And last up is Mesprit, of course. But I was able to handle it with Thorberg, even though I left it kinda close. Well, after defeating Cyrus, I was gifted the Master Ball and headed straight to free the Lake Guardians. But not before battling Saturn for one last time. He starts off by sending out a Zangoose, which Airjet was able to handle with a bunch of arm thrusts. And next up is Medicham, which also gets taken out swiftly by Airjet. Last up is his Floatzel, and with a little help from Thorberg, we easily take it out. After freeing the Lake Trio, we head straight over to Spear Pillar. But on our way there, we sadly lose Airjet to a Wild Rayquaza, which I was unable to run from.
Wow, man. Damn.
And before facing off against Cyrus, Barry and me have to team up to defeat Mars and Jupiter in a double battle. They start off by sending out a Glalie and a Skuntank. Magma Man was able to handle the Glalie quickly, as Barry's Dodrio deals significant damage to the Skuntank, which it later takes out with a Slash, as Magma Man was able to handle the incoming Garchomp with a single Ice Punch. Next, they send out a Cast Form and a Tauros. The Cast Form went down after a couple of attacks from both me and Barry, as they later send out an Espeon. Just to play it safe, I send out Fish, which was able to handle both Espeon and Tauros to end the battle. After that, Cyrus uses the power of the legendaries or whatever to open a portal to the Distortion world, and he gets scooped up by Giratina. And so now, me and Cynthia has to jump in after to stop Giratina and pull Cyrus back out. After jumping in, I run around frantically solving puzzles made for kids, until I finally make it to Cyrus, ready to fight him for the last time. Cyrus starts off by sending out a Sceptile, which Magma Man easily handles with a Heat Wave. Next up is Cyrus's Kingdra, which Thorberg was able to handle with a single Draco Meteor. After that, he sends out an Electivire, which once again gets taken care of by Magma Man. Penultimately is his Bronzong, which also falls to Magma Man's Wrath. And lastly, Cyrus sends out his Fortress, and you can just take a guess on what happens next. After beating Cyrus, it's time for us to meet our old friend, Ball, who's back from the dead. So I just send him back to hell where he belongs. After escaping the Distortion world, I replaced our fallen Mon Airjet with an encounter I found a while back, Sherpie the Cherubi, which I immediately evolved into an Electabuzz. Then I also decided to evolve another old encounter, Burb 3 the Vibrava. And well, at first I was quite disappointed with what I got, but after one more level, it evolved into a Swampert. So yeah, great! I then head into the gym to face off against the last gym leader, Volkner. But first, a random trainer's Jolteon had Fancy Plant, which it used on my new member and instantly killed it. Fortunately, there were no more casualties on our way to Volkner, so it's the same 5 like usual, I guess, to battle him. Volkner starts off by sending out a Staraptor, which quickly gets one-shot by Thunderbolt from Thorberg. Next up is Sudowoodo, which also gets one-shot by Thorberg. Second to last is a Deoxys, which definitely made me a little nervous, but Thorberg once again takes it out in one hit. Lastly, Volkner sends out a Dugtrio, which surprisingly doesn't get one-shot by Thorberg, but it eventually falls to our new MVP. And And now, after I've collected all of the gym badges, it's time to head over to Victory Road. And in Victory Road, I pick up my last encounter, a Bellsprout, that I named The One. Well, maybe not the ferocious monster I was hoping for. And yeah, that gets proven fairly quickly as a random optional trainer's Nidoking one-shots him. And unfortunately, the casualties does not stop there, as begrudgingly, my channel mascot kills Black Manta with a Volt Tackle. Why, man? I thought we were cool! And so, the last team I decide to go with for my last rival fight against Barry is Spines, the Jirachi, Thorburb, the Zapdos, Magma Man, the Heatran, Diddley, the Cradilly, Cam, the Camerupt, and Fish, the Bastiodon. And so, with that, let's take on Barry. Barry starts off by sending out Thorburb. What the hell are you doing? Well, anyways, I send out Magma Man to take out Thorburb and take back his crown as the GOAT. And after that, Barry sends out, Dude, have you just been sneaking around in my PC? Well, I send out Diddley, as I know it's got Seed Flare, which should take out this Swampert. But, unfortunately, we'll never know, as he crits and kills Diddley, yet another team member dying in its first battle. So, Spines comes out instead and takes it out with a couple of Razor Leaves. After that, Barry sends out a Tyranitar, but with a little help from Fish, Thorburb was able to take it out. His fourth Mon is a Dragonite. And, like, dude, what kind of super team is this? Luckily, Spines was able to take it out with some Aurora Beams. Second to last, Barry sends out an Empoleon, because, of course. But it goes down fast after a Thunderbolt from Thorburb. And lastly, Barry sends out a Spinda. Wow, really saved your best for last, didn't you? Anyways, after some annoying sleep turns, Magma Man takes out the Spinda. After filling out my team one last time, the final team before heading into the Elite Four ends up being Spines, Thorburb, Magma Man, Cam, Fish, and our newest team member, Booby, the Hitmonchan. Now, let's go. First up is the Elite Four member Aaron, who starts off by sending out a Flareon, which gets taken out by a Surf from Thorburb. Next up, Aaron sends out an Abomasnow, which Magma Man handles quickly. Next up is a Vileplume, that Magma Man once again takes out in one hit. Second to last is Jolteon, which also gets taken out by Magma Man. And last up is a Girafarig, and once again, Magma Man deletes it from this world. After healing up, it's time to take on the second Elite Four member, Bertha. She starts off by sending out a Heracross. After putting it to sleep with Spines, Thorburb was able to safely come in and take it out with a Fly. Next up is Kangaskhan. Or at least I thought so, but as I send in Fish, Bertha switches it to a Satu. And I respond by switching in Spines and taking it out with two Aurora Beams. She then sends out a very beautiful creature, which I sadly have to take out with Magma Man. She then sends her Kangaskhan back out, and after a couple of moves, it falls to Magma Man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to witness is by far the single most annoying and bullshit ending I have ever had to a Nuzlocke, as Bertha's last Pokemon, Larias, single-handedly takes out my entire team, as it just spams Spore and then Dream Eater, and none of my Pokemon are fast enough nor strong enough to deal enough damage to take it out. Now that certainly wasn't the ending me, nor you, hopefully, was hoping for. But after completely demolishing the competition up to this point, Magma Man and Thorburb will get the shared MVP trophy for this run. We were close, but not close enough. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.